Hi guys, Alfie here, and I'm bringing you today my top 16 Irish Nationals deck profile. Normally I'd do it in person, but I just didn't have time to film it at the event, so that's why I'm bringing it a bit late. Apologies for the budget setup. Like I said, normally I'd do it in person, but I didn't have time, so I'm just using my GoPro from home to bring it a bit late. So I decided to play for Floowandereeze. I think we all know that Snake Eye is undoubtedly the best deck, and I did have the option to play that. However, I didn't feel I'd be able to pilot the deck well enough in the short amount of time I had to test. So I decided to play Floowandereeze because it's a deck I've played for a while now. I've been in and out of the game, honestly, and it's always been like my kind of go-to deck because you don't really have to change your playstyle too much because it's just kind of like an anti-meta deck. So I just decided to build my non-engine to beat some of the best, most relevant decks like Snake Eye, Voiceless Voice, and all those other decks like Melodious, whatever. So yeah, enough of me yapping. I'll just get into the profile. So for the bird lineup, to play the standard 3 and 3, and then 2 of these ones. I've seen a lot of people playing extra ones of this and this. But personally, I don't think it's needed. If you play extra ones of these, you can play more of this and this just to have starters. Honestly, I don't mind an extra one of this because there's lots of good banishes in Grave. That's why we've seen people playing multiple DD Crows in other decks. And it's just a good starter. It's better than this because this requires you to have something in your banish pile to get your engine going. So I definitely think 2 of these, or 1 of each of these, is fine because it doesn't really, what's the word? It doesn't increase your percentages too much higher to make you play. If you want to play more of this for Harpy's Featherstorm, I don't really think that's the best approach to the deck. So I just feel in order to make your deck better with having extra spaces for non-engine to beat other decks, then this ratio is fine. I didn't feel adding extras would make my deck any better. And then I played the 2 of the Empen and 1 of each of these guys. 2 Empens, perfect. You don't need 3 because if you get to resolve 1, then that's great. If you get to the point of that you're resolving 2 Empens, then I just feel you're already in a good position to win at that point. Apex is pretty important in this format, just being able to summon it. It's always been good in this deck, don't get me wrong, but just being able to have a negate and have multiple negates, using map and Dreaming Town to summon it multiple times per turn is just super strong, especially when you have something like Empen. And one of the main issues is talents. So they can talents take your Empen. So just having Avian on field to negate that is super strong because when they've always took my Empen, then they have a 2/7 body to push damage, and yeah, they can, if you have 2 Empens, they can just crush both, and then you kind of cooked at that point. And then Riser, super strong. Just been able to bounce itself back every turn. Sometimes just summoning this when they're on low resources and just being able to loop it every turn is insane because you just win the game at that point. But yeah, pretty standard Flu lineup. Don't really need to go over that too much. And then I played the 3 Shifter and 1 DD Crow. Again, like I said before, there's loads of great banishes from Grave. I'm being able to search this with Robin and the Cowrie spell card. It's just super strong, and with Riser as well, you can always put it back to the top of the deck, summon Robin, and then search it again. So it's just insanely broken. And then obviously Shifter, I don't need to explain too much against this. It's one of your main win conditions against decks like Snake Eye. Obviously that's the most represented deck in the format, in the top tables at least. So just having this game 1 and an option for game 2 and 3. A lot of times I sided this out because I just had some extra side deck cards that I thought were better. Going first anyway. Going second, Obviously you need to keep this in to like win against Snake Eye and then some other decks. But yeah, Shifter, the card should be banned. Again, I don't need to go over it too much. And then for spells, I played the free map and 1 terraforming, the free advent. Again, standard ratios. Don't really need to explain too much on that one. I play the free swallows and the one of this. This card's insane. Just being able to tribute over lots of things. When you search it with the second Empen, that's when you really start to win the game. Just being able to tribute over all their stuff and like just recoil loads of resources, and then just being able to draw some cards in some hands when like you have a load of birds, or like you brick sometimes and you can like put back cards and draw. It's just really great. And then this card is insane because there's so many like effect veilers and like impermanence, which is in most decks. Like and again, Ghost Ogre as well. Sometimes like they won't have you won't have map. So like they'll Ghost Ogre like one of the birds you start with, for example, like Robin Eaglin, and then it does make sense because sometimes you won't have an extra bird in hand to summon to tribute that Empen. So if they Ghost Ogre the bird, then you can tribute this as well and just get like an extra stree, so you have an extra body for the Empen. And then obviously dodging effect veiler impermanence, like I said, is in every deck, and then other targeting cards. Can't think of any on the top of my head, but there's loads of targeting cards. Just being able to dodge it and then just like grab another bird or grab a DD Crow. This card's insane. Like you definitely have to play it because again, it ups the consistency. It's been able to like tribute, say like you open Stree in hand and it's just not a play, then you can just get a Robin. And then yeah, like I said, that's why I didn't want to play any other extra birds as well, the level 1s, because with 3 of this and 3 of this, and then like, what is it, like 7 birds or 8 birds, sorry, on these, like you don't need extra birds because I feel like the consistency of this deck is kind of like at an all-time high, and it will never get more consistent with all of these cards and the birds. So I thought it was fine. Like I only bricked once in the whole event in like 10 rounds I played, and that was quite late into the tournament as well. So the deck performed really well consistency wise. Then obviously the One Dreaming Town, this card's like insane. It's probably one of the best engine traps like of all time because it gets your whole engine rolling. Like it searches you follow up, and it's like a Book of Eclipse, which is like the most broken like part of the effect. Like this card is insane. But again, it's Flute Engine, don't really need to go over it too much. More consistency cards. I played 3 of each part. I didn't play Extravagance. Like I felt the deck was already consistent enough at this point. And these been able to dig for like the dodges, like the calories and like the maps, just like gets your engine rolling and beats a lot of the hand traps if you have like a prosperity and then calories and a bird. Like they need like 3 hand traps at that point to really stop you. And then I played the one called by. This card's insane. Obviously that's why it's at 1 for a reason. You need it going first because there's so many hand traps in the format, like the Ghost Ogres, the Veilers, the Ash Blossoms. And then even going second, if you have like the non-engine to out their boards, sometimes they still have hand traps, which is really hard. So like playing into a board and then also having this is really strong because you can have all the non-engine to out their board, but if they still have like a hand trap or 2 hand traps in hand, then you're still kind of cooked at that point. So just having this, just like push through a board, and then obviously if you have it going first and they have like 1 or 2 hand traps, it just trades with it really well because they're not gonna have 3 hand traps a lot of the time. So just being able to trade with 1 is insane. And then obviously if you don't get to use it on a hand trap, just having it set, it hits a lot of things. So the card's really broken. You definitely need it because there's so many hand traps, and just being able to like have it like a couple, obviously it's at 1, so just being able to have it like a few times will definitely save you a lot in the tournament, because by itself it will save you a lot of games, which will save you matches in the long run. And then for non-engine, I wanted to play Dark Ruler. I entered 2 Evenlies. Dark Ruler is insane. Just been able to out like the Melodious board because I wanted to have something for Melodious in the main deck. And then obviously again, Snake Eye go in second, like it outs the full board pretty much. I mean, if they have the field spell and then like don't use the Flame Burge in like draw phase to like summon the IP, then they can still have IP for SP, but a lot of the time it just hit everything, so it was insane. And then evenly as well, like if you compare these two a lot of the time, and with Prosperity and Duality like going second, like you'll be able to see these like so much, and it just like outs the whole board. If you can like stun them with these and then stick an Empen and then have the trap for follow-up, it puts you in a really good position to win. I wanted to have 2 of this. I only decided to play 2 because the deck's fine going first, but going second's when it like has the most issues. And I didn't want to brick with 3 going first, so I just decided to play the 2. But if you draw any combination of like Shifter and these, and then obviously you have the DD Crow, the continuous spell like helps you break boards, uncalled by in some states. So just having this amount of non-engine, I thought was like the perfect amount for the tournament, and it worked out really well. Like I was really happy with these ratios. Where's my extra deck? Okay, here it is. So I played like, this is a really scuffed extra deck. I played the 2 Zeus, 1 Downed, 1 of this guy. Like these cards, like I think these are like standard like Flu extra deck cards. Honestly, I summoned none of these at all. This is just good for like random shit, I guess. Like one guy secret villaged me, so I had to like summon this, and then Cosmic Cyclone, his field spell, which was nice. Like it saved me like the match, to be honest. You just have these for like sometimes maybe like you'll have to summon it, and it's just nice to have there, but it never comes up. This just for outing random things as well with these. Yeah, this stuff never comes up. Like I wouldn't stress too much about the Flu extra deck, which is why most of my extra deck consisted like this. Like honestly, if you stress about the Flu extra deck, you're just a nerd. I hate to break it to you, but like, you can play things like Typhon, maybe, like that makes sense, right? But I don't want to buy a Typhon for like £20, so I needed cards for Prosperity, so I just pulled random cards out my binder at that point. One guy used Unicorn Effect to banish my extra deck, and just looked at all this and was like, bro, like what the hell? And yeah, I wouldn't stress too much about the Flu extra deck. You're never going to go into it. Like maybe it will come up one time, like in a very niche scenario, and realistically it's not going to win you the game. Like if you're going into your Flu extra deck at that point, like you're probably lost. So I didn't stress too much about it. And then I played 2 Phantasme and 3 Ash. Phantasme was good. Like I had it against Snake Eye mainly going second. Just been able to like draw, like if sometimes they'll go like Celine to go for like the Appaloosa line. So just being able to drop this here and then maybe draw like a Shifter, because if you still shifter them after that point, then they just end on an Appaloosa realistically for 2. And then you have the body of Phantasme to be able to like force battle phase, like go into it or like beat over it, sorry. And then you can resolve your combo in main phase 2. But being able to draw things like Dark Ruler, evenly matched, it's just great. I had a few issues where some people would like Flame Burge, put it in the spell and trap zone, and then like I'd draw an evenly matched and it'd just be dead. But overall, I thought it was really good. Just being able to draw like non-engine and like fix your hand. And I played Ash Blossom just for like random rogue decks. I guess like Runic Stun, being able to hit the field spell. I mainly wanted it for things like Tempai, because they always draw the perfect amount of non-engine to beat you. So I just wanted something in my hand to like have an extra layer of security. So say like they broke my board and then like they activate the Sangan summoning. Like I just wanted to have this to be able to keep them off killing me, and then me being able to play next turn and then just win. And then against some combo decks as well. I had this going second, just having like extra hand traps, like having this shifter, and then like D&D Crow. You've got shifter, of course, Dark Ruler. So just having lots of going second like options, I thought was really good. But honestly, I didn't side it in that much. But I think it was a good decision to play it overall. Then for back row removal, I played 2 and 1. I don't think you need like too much back row removal. I had the evenly matched as well, just for like the super back row decks like Labyrinth, or just like other random back row decks. But you definitely need these. Just been able to like out skill drains, because obviously like Snake Eye is like the huge, like the best deck, right? And everyone sides in 3 skill drains, and skill drain against Flu is rough. So you definitely need these, just being able to like have them, or like draw into them, and then just hit skill drain. And then Harpies, obviously it just hits everything. Being able to like dig into it with the Prosperities and hit it against Snake. Like if you draw this and Dark Ruler against a lot of decks, then it's just wraps mainly. Getting rid of the field spell, like they may have set impermanence, set skill drain, like it just blows them out. Yeah, not too much needs to be explained about those. I played 3 Featherstorm. This card's insane, obviously, should be banned. As a lot of the times I searched the Feather Duster off this as well, which was great. I didn't resolve it that much over the tournament, to be honest. I think I only resolved it twice, and obviously every time you resolve it, like it is just game, let's be real. There was one time where like I got double hand trapped but ended on Eaglin. Like he summoned a guy, I hit him with this, so he was left on 3 cards, and then I had follow up. So I mean, he realistically is not going to have more hand traps after the point he's used 2 and committed some engine. So if you resolve this, it's game. I didn't want to play cards like Trap Trick, because I felt that was like too much Featherstorms. Like you don't want to brick on multiples, and you can always put one to the top of the deck with Riser. So yeah, the card's just insane. Also, to note, I didn't play like Thrust. I think Thrust in this deck in general, like the Flu deck, I don't think it's that good, honestly, because like you can search the Featherstorm or you can search the trap, but that requires you to like have a wind on field. Like sometimes they'll be able to stop you like with robbing your first play, and then like you can thrust into either of those 2 traps. But if you don't have an extra guy in hand to play next turn on their turn, then it does nothing. And then obviously rob into water, so again that would do nothing. So, and then like with siding like Dark Ruler and stuff, I feel like if you get to the point where you can like thrust into Dark Ruler, like you have to have an extra play as well after that. So I feel like it's just bad, because it doesn't really like fix the fundamental issues of the deck, which is like getting stopped or like bricking. So I didn't play it. I just didn't think it was good in the deck in general. Like I don't like it. If it worked, like sometimes if you can like play through like a hand trap or like 2 hand traps and then thrust into the Featherstorm, like I feel like at that point you're probably already winning. Like you don't need like anything extra on top of that. So I'd rather like save my side deck space for like more versatility. One card which was insane throughout the tournament, or just in general, was this card, Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. So level 6 higher or special summoned monsters on the field can't declare attacks or activate their effects. I thought this was a pretty good meta call, honestly. I'm surprised like I've not seen it in like a lot of other decks lists, especially with like the rise of Melodious and just other like decks. Obviously Kashtira, those kind of engines like Fenrir is like an issue for this deck, because they can like put the Fenrir in defense, and then like it just hits 1 card. But I'd rather like them not like banish my Empins face down, or like banish my continuous spells face down. I want them in rotation. So Just having this deciding going first against like fusion decks, obviously like branded as well. Like say they activate branded fusion, you chain this, they summon a fusion, and then like if they don't have non-engine, then it's just game over. Obviously if you have this with Apex Avian as well, like the one spell and trap card removal that they may have drawn is just like completely like irrelevant because obviously the Apex would just negate it. This stays on field, like they're screwed at that point. And then obviously if you have like Empen and this, then it's literally just Harpy's Feather Duster or Featherstorm, sorry, but forever. Like all their guys in attack mode are negated, and then all the level 6 or higher special summon monsters are negated. So they got no link monsters, no fusions. They've got nothing. The only thing like they can activate is an Xyz monster in defense. And yeah, that's just really rough for him. Like, what Xyz decks are in the format, honestly? And then just another Floodgate. I wanted to play Rivalry. Sometimes I put this in going second. Sometimes I put this going in second as well. Maybe if they like didn't expect it, it could like cheese me a win. And that did happen sometimes. Rivalry obviously insane against a lot of decks, maybe like Snake Eye. Lots of decks that use the extra deck, obviously. That's why it's at 1. These performed decently. I didn't really draw this too much, but it's good in general. This was the MVP. Like, I can see this card being played going forwards in a lot of decks. Yeah, like, especially if Melodious gains popularity. It's just an auto win against the fusion decks. So yeah, that was the deck profile. I finished top 16, 12th after Swiss. The deck performed really well, and I can see myself running it back with this deck. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you with another deck profile in the future.